Alright friends, a very special good evening to one and all. As usual, hoping you all are fine, learning, studying, working, practicing back at your places. Okay, myself Shabnam, once again here at the Code Ark, coding, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning for all and everyone. Here at the Code Arc, we urge people to stay faster than AI and faster than the future. Okay, fine. Anyways, coming back to the concept and point. Mm, this is day 23 of Data Analytics Bootcamp. The day 22 yesterday that we resume after some long time. We discussed yesterday about some basic concepts of numpy. What is numpy? A numerical Python. It's a package built for Python that is to perform data analytics. So different analytical functions and even more than that we will explore one by one. I'm sorry for that. Okay, never mind. Okay, fine. A very quick revision of what we have learned about numpy yesterday. Fine. Numpy is used to create a basic functionality of numpy that is used to create arrays. Arrays are built over the top of list. Am I right? Array can be 1D array, 2D array or n-dimensional array. I hope you understand. Okay, this is the function. How do we create an array? But before creating an array, we have to make sure we have imported numpy as a package. Right? So even if I write import numpy, that's well, the code still will suffice. So that every time we don't have to write numpy as full, we create its allies like as np. Instead of np, you could have written any other alphabet or word as a name. That's fine. Okay, fine. So this is how we have imported numpy and to create an array. Say I want to create a numpy array. This is a function. If you want to create a 2D array, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Alright, so this is how it creates. And say if you want to store this array in some other variable, so let me call this one as A, and here we go. And in case now if we print A, if I print A, okay, so this is my array created by numpy. Okay, you want to see the shape of A, that means it contains how many rows and how many columns. Since array you can consider here as a list of list, you can simply type the function as ba dot shape. Okay, it's not a function, it's an attribute of an array, shape. Had it been function, we would have ended something like this. Is that correct? So a dot shape, that says it has total 3 rows and 3 columns. So you want to display the first row. Okay, so this is the first list containing all its elements, and if you want to display the second element of the first row, so let me call it here as something like this. It says me 2. Is that correct? Fine. Okay, and then we also learned like how to condition an array. For example, if I want to display all those elements in A who are greater than say 7. Fine, so false, 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 because those were 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 7 onwards it shows, or 8 onwards it started showing true. So I want to display only the values where this holds true, where this condition holds true. So this is how it goes. Is that correct? What will happen now? Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, fine. Never mind. I gave you one better example. Forget that. Is that correct? Fine. So we saw a dot shape. We saw conditioning, how to slice an array. Correct. And at the end of the class yesterday, we started discussing numpy abs function. Correct. So if I want to find absolute value, say this is the case, this is the case. Okay, let me create another array. Say this time it is b is equal to np dot array. Okay, so 1 minus 2 and 3. Say minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. Okay, this minus for me, say it shows just direction. They are vectors. Okay, otherwise their absolute values are still 4, 5 and 6 only. Okay, 7, 8 and minus 9. Alright, so if I could run this, I have made a mistake. Since this is array, I need to close this in a list like this. Getting it? Fine. So if I say b of 0, like we did in the early example, it shows me the first list of the array or the first row in the array. And if I say like this, np dot absolute b of 0, that means it shows me all the absolute values of elements in that list of an array, correct? You could see there is no minus 2, but it is 2 because absolute value of minus 2 is 2 only. Is that correct? Fine. Okay, this is where we stopped our discussion yesterday. Let's continue here on from this point by discussing some more numerical functions present in array. Okay, fine. Till then, any doubt from your end? Let me check. Hold on for a moment. Okay, I would request you to hold on, please. Okay, there are people who are unable to join. Okay, here we go. Fine, guys, here we go. Okay, so this is where we start from today. I've kept some code for our ease in this notepad file. Okay, numpy is also used to create array range. Now what is this array range? Like this. Let me delete all these, I don't want them. Okay, fine, like this. Say np dot arrange. Okay, arrange stands for nothing but array range. Like if I pass 5 and if I say enter, so that means it generates numbers from 0 to 4. Upper limit is not counted or not considered, since Python works for everything up till less than upper limit. Okay, but I hope you have heard of range function. We might have used range function a number of times in the for loops as well. Okay, fine, like this. Check it out. See, if I write simply range of 6, okay, so it just shows me 0 to 6. And if I want to convert this into some list kind of function, so let me do that. Converting this into a list data type. I hope you understand. The same thing what Python could do without numpy using range function. But then the output of the range function, we had to convert it into list to achieve what exactly numpy does. Clear? Fine. So not to make it so complicated, a range or array range, that is to create an array within a given range. Alright. So if you could look here, see how it works. If I work like this, say I want to create an array. This time we have stated from where to where, that is the lower limit 2 and upper limit 8. So from 2 to 8, if I don't give the step size first, okay, so that means the range will be created not from 0 to 7 but from 2 to 7. Check it out. Correct? Right? And default step size is always 1. If you want, suppose the step size to be 2, okay, so between 2 to 8 with the step size of 2, the range will generate the numbers 2, 4 and 6. Correct? Similarly, with the step size of 3, the range will generate the number 2 and 5. Here, one function of a range is the step size can be in fraction also. Now, this is something which was never supported by range in Python. Okay, so numpy's a range also come with a fractional step size. This is what I want to say. So if it is 2, the next number would be 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, and the last one is still 7.5, because after 7.5, 8 will make it not equal, not less than the upper limit 8. Right, hoping you are understanding. Correct? Okay, there is another function supported by numpy called as a linspace. Now suppose you don't want to calculate the step size. Okay, say for example, between 2 to 10, say I want total 20 numbers. Are you understanding me? This is my rough calculation. Between 2 to 10, we want total 20 numbers. So right, so like for 2 to 10 total 20 numbers, what should be the step size? Is it right? How much gap should be between two numbers? So what we have to do is maybe something minus something divided by 20. So you will come to know what is the step size. So you don't want to break your head behind the step size. You simply say how many numbers you want between lower limit and upper limit. It's okay even if you don't write like this, start equals to, stop equals to. You just give the parameters like 2, 10, 20. It still works. Okay, so oh, beautiful. You could see it has saved a lot of work for us. So if the first number, which is a lower limit, is 2, so it has automatically calculated the next number to have 20 numbers in the series, that is 2.42. Alright, remember the difference will always be constant between the two numbers. So linspace is a kind of algebraic progression that numpy creates. Alright, so if I want, suppose between 2 to 10, only 5 numbers. Are you getting it? So this is how the 5 numbers they have generated: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, with a suitable difference of only 2 as a step size. Hoping you are understanding. Right, so that's the use of linspace. Okay, next function of numpy that we could see over here is to generate the random numbers. Okay, ideally Python achieves random numbers with the help of module random. You have to import random, right? But fortunately with numpy it comes with the utility of random with itself inbuilt. Okay, so how to do that? For example, if I could say like this, np dot random. Random is a function. Okay, so random is a module that contains a function random integer. Suppose if I say generate a random integer between 1 to 10. Is that correct? And if I run this code again, see, randomly it is picking up a number that is between 1 to 10. So 1 will be the lower limit here and 10 is the upper limit. Okay, 10 will not be chosen because upper limit is ideally checked for lesser than. It never includes upper limit. If you wanted 10 also, then you should have given the upper limit as 11. Got it. And between 1 to 10, if I want Python to choose or numpy to choose 2 random numbers, so it has chosen 1 and 6. But this time the data type will be an array because it is more than 1. I hope you're getting that. Is it correct? Fine. So more than 1. Say if I want to choose a numpy to choose 3 random numbers, so 9, 6, 8. It is possible among 3, 2 are same also. Right? In that case, we can use some Boolean variables, which is s coming up. All right, fine. So okay. One more thing. Say if I want to choose array of this size, because if I write 3, it creates a one-dimensional array. So if I write 2, 3, that means it's going to create a random number or two-dimensional array of random numbers. Is that correct? Fine. So that is how random integer is working. Alright, another thing that I could show you here is the use of choice. Say I create an array of np dot, okay, let's do like this. Range say 10, and I store this array of 10 numbers or 9 numbers in A. Okay, next we write it as np.random.choice. Okay, so choice is another function from random. Okay, A 4, that means choose any 4. That is for choice people. Okay, say why didn't we use random integer here? Because I never wanted to give a suitable range. I want to choose something randomly from a given set of data. Alright, so I don't want to choose anything randomly from a range. I want to choose something from a given set of data. So in that case, we make use of choice. Alright, so choose from list A or array A 4 numbers or 4 entities. Is that right? So they have chosen 8, 6, 5 and 7. So if I repeat this, okay, you could see a 0 coming up for 2 times. 0 coming, because it can happen. You look, out of 4, 6 has been chosen 3 times because it is a random choice. Okay, and if you don't want it to happen, you can simply write replace is equal to false. That means do not repeat the number while choosing them. Okay, so you will find among 4, never or none of them to be repeated. Is that correct? Fine. So random dot random integer, random dot choice, and so on. Alright, fine. We would like to stop the discussion of numpy as of now for here, because whatever comes ahead in numpy, I'm going to launch series exclusively covering only numpy functions. Alright, as of now, to understand analytics, this much of numpy is more than enough. Let's move on to understand a few basic functions of pandas. Okay, pandas as numpy, even panda is a data visualization, or let me say data analytics tool in Python, and it can be simply imported as like this. Okay, let me take a new file here. Okay, import pandas. Okay, you want to create a alias, you don't want to don't create. This is my habit, hence I do it as PD. Alright, fine. Now since I also require numpy here, so let me import numpy as well. Okay, the first thing using pandas that we will learn today is how to create a data frame. Data frame is nothing but a data set. Okay, so what we'll do first of all is, okay, let me generate some data using numpy. Okay, let me generate some data using numpy. For example, if anybody could guess what this piece of code will do, if you could guess, say age is equals to np dot random integer from 18 to 40, total 20. Okay, that means starting from 18 to 40, it is going to generate total 20 random integers. Is that correct? You want, you can display age like this. Okay, fine. Alright, likewise I have something called as city. So np.random.choice. Say city, I can't use random integers or to be selected for cities or something. I want to choose randomly cities from a given set. So let me say this is that set: Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai. Alright, so how many values we want total? 20. Okay, so if you could see city, how it looks, this is how the city looks. Okay, then I have one more variable here called as default, and it simply chooses from 0 and 1 total 20 values. So if you could see how default looks, this is how it looks. Okay, now what we'll do is let insert this all data as columns into a data frame using Panda. Okay, now there are two methods that Panda used to create a data frame. The first one I don't find it to be so intuitive, but since we are learning to code, we need to be aware of both of them. Okay, fine. What we'll do is let me first zip the data. Okay, if anybody who know how to zip the data, we simply write like this: zip age, city, and default. Do you understand what is the use of zip? Like this, check it there are two lists. A is equals to 1, 2, 3, and B is equals to 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and suppose if I write zip A comma B, firstly it's not going to show you any output because you have to convert it into list. Now check, are you getting it? So 1 and 4 is tupled as a single row, 2, 5 is tupled as a second row, 3, 6 position wise the elements gets into a row of a single list where each row is a tuple. I hope you understand it. Right, so it ideally creates a list of tuples matching the place positions of elements in two different lists. Correct? Fine. So if suppose I try to zip age, who's next? City and default. Okay, and then if I try to print it, oh wonderful, you could see how zip did it. Is it right? So 34 Delhi and 0. So this is 34 from age, Delhi from city, and 0 as a default clubbed as one single tuple. Then this is the next tuple. This is the next tuple. This way we have created, I hope so we understand, total 20 tuples in the list. Is it correct? Total 20 tuples in the list. So what I would like to do is let me store this data in some variable called as my data. Okay, now two methods of creating data frame is, have a look please. First one, okay, first one, let me say df for data frame, although you can use any variable to name your data frame. pd.dataframe, pd.dataframe. First of all, insert what data you want to convert into data frame. So I say my data. Okay, please give some column names, because you could see when I executed the data previously, it lacked the column names or headers, right? So let's say age, city, default. Okay, executed. You want, you can print that data frame as well. So this is how it looks. Is that a little decent data? Correct? It looks like a little decent data. So this is how it looks, pd.dataframe. So this is one method. Another method to create a data frame is okay, say df1 this time, pd.dataframe, and use dictionary. That means key value pair. Age, who will be the header, it will act as a key over here, will act as a column header which should take value from variable age. City, the key becomes a second column header, should take value from variable city, and default should take value from variable default. Run this and print this. Okay, so this is much simpler to write. You don't have to zip the data here. You don't have to declare anything as a column name here. So this method seems to be prettier as compared to the first one, which is this one to create a data frame. Right? I hope you understand. So this is how Pandas work with creating a data frame. Now since we have learned how to create a data frame, Let's also learn how does Panda read data from any CSV file. CSV files are the comma separated file. Okay, you can better open these files in Excel. Okay, comma separated files or comma separated value files. Okay, there is one file which I have kept downloaded from Kaggle. Okay, so this is my file and this is how it looks like. Okay, so there's somewhere column ID, there is somewhere column amount requested, amount funded by investor, blah blah blah. Somewhere the column is state, somewhere the column is home ownership, somewhere the column is monthly income, and so on. Right, so let's import this file for further analysis inside Python using Pandas. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to, I think I was here. Fine, let me erase this. Okay, take it. Fine, let me declare a variable called as file and import that file by writing its path in the variable file. Okay, so how do we do that? It's inside the D drive. Okay, make sure that you don't always write the path. Okay, this is my path, state CSV. Alright, fine. Alright, never forget to write behind this string the letter R, that stands for raw. Okay, that means it treats the path as a raw string, thereby ignoring any special character. Okay, fine. So this is my file. Okay, and to convert this file, or let me say to read this file, you can't just write file to print what it contains. It will simply show you the path. Okay, even if you write like this, say print file, it doesn't make any sense. It's gonna show you only what it contains as a path. Okay, so how does Python read this file? We just have to write pd dot read CSV. Okay, Python can read from many other file formats as well. Read CSV, read text, and read this blah blah blah. We'll see as and when the time comes, as and when the need comes. Okay, so read CSV. Which CSV file? The one which has been stored in, which has been brought here and stored in the variable file. Okay, so you could see Panda has read the CSV file and displayed you here on the screen. This is the same file that we saw back in Excel. Hoping you are understanding. Clear? Huh? Okay, fine. The file contains a more or less. Okay, fine. It's been displayed around 2,500 rows. Of course, all the rows will not be shown here. They'll show you some starting few rows and dot 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 indicating continuation till last few 4 or 5 rows. Is it clear? Fine. Okay, you can store this in some variable, the entire CSV file which has been read. Let me call this as my file. Is it clear? So if I run this next time, the file has been opened, read, and stored in my file. Okay, now certain operations that you can do with this variable. Say if I write my file dot head, have a look. It shows you by default starting 5 rows. 0 to 4 means 5. Similarly, if you write my file dot tail, it shows you ending 5 rows. Okay, now if you want to select any 5 rows randomly, you have to write it as sample. So, okay, so when you use a function sample from Pandas for file functions, that means it randomly selects any single row. If you want any 5 rows to be selected, then pass the number as an argument and it randomly chooses any 5 rows, maybe row number 167, row number 2317, blah 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 till row number 2395. Hoping you understand. Clear? Suppose you want to see who are the columns in this file, then simply type columns. So these are the column. ID is a column, amount requested is a column, amount funded by investor is a column. And if you want to display this column along with its data types, then simply type here D types. Okay, fine. Wherever you find float 64 as a data type, that means it is an integer. This is a Panda way of calling them or calling their data types. And wherever you find object written, that means it's a categorical data or a string, means which is not an integer at least. Okay, either an integer or not an integer. So numerical data represented with data type as float 64, and categorical data means the one which is not numerical, like name, address, and whatsoever it is, it is represented as object. I hope you're understanding. Please put your question as a comment whenever you watch it, even you're watching live with me right now or you watch it later back. Anything, any example, any part of the discussion which is not yet clear, not understood, you can put it in the chat or in the comment section. We would be glad to answer you back. Okay, there's another important attribute here of Panda files which has been read as a CSV, that is shape. Okay, it simply tells you how many rows and how many columns are contained inside the file, right? So it states that there are total 2500 rows and 15 columns. Or let's say you want to display any one particular column. You could see here there's so many columns. Alright, so I want to display the column which is home ownership. Okay, so how will you do that? Okay, so my file home. Remember, column names are always written in a single quote because it is always considered as a string. Okay, writing the column names in a single quote will give us liberty to give any weird name to the column that could involve any weird character like dot or @ or dollar, etc. Okay, so home ownership. Alright, so it has opened only the column which is home ownership. I hope you're getting it. Say, somewhere it shows me home ownership as own, somewhere it shows me home ownership as rent, and somewhere it shows me home ownership as mortgage. Right? So if I want to show only those rows where home ownership is mortgage, so please write this kind of condition. My file display home ownership where home ownership is equals to mortgage. Okay. This is mistake I made it here. Bracket. Is that correct? The home ownership is mortgage. So row number 1 true, row number 2 true, row number 3 true, and so on. And suppose if you write this entire thing inside my file this way, then it returns the entire row where this condition is true. Home ownership is equal to mortgage. Hoping you are understanding. Okay, say I want to join the two conditions. First of all, home ownership should be mortgage. So this is one condition. Okay, this is one condition. And monthly income, second condition. My file monthly income should be greater than or equal to 7,000. Alright, remember Pandas uses ampersand as and, unlike Python and, and it uses pipeline to indicate or, unlike Python as or. Alright, you go back to one of our lecture in the series wherein we discuss about the operators. So these were the two logical operators of Python, and an or. Python writes them by spelling them, whereas Pandas use them by using this kind of notations, ampersand and pipeline sign, that is or. Now when you write and, that means both the condition must be true. But if you write or, that means either of the condition is true. The row will be still selected. Fine. Okay. Without running this syntax, let me first show you one thing. Home ownership is mortgage. Where it shows home ownership, here it is. Okay, so wherever home ownership is mortgage, but look, even this row is included. Monthly income is 65414583, but this is not greater than 7,000, right? So now if I run this, you will find everywhere home ownership as mortgage, but with this condition being applied, monthly income also should be greater than 7,000. Hoping you are understanding that. Clear? Fine. Acha. Now, having understood this part, let's understand something. How does Python works in subsetting data? There are two specific functions of pandas called as ilog and log. Ilog is used when you want to subset data based on the basis of index numbers. Look like this. Say if I write my file dot ilog. Log stands for location, I for index here. Okay, say 3:5. Alright, or let me call it like this, 3:10 and 1:5. Okay, instead of 3:, okay, let's take 3:6. Alright, always remember, first argument that we pass here is row and the second argument that we will pass here is column. Right, so we are selecting how many rows in the range, tell me. 3:6. That means 3, 4, 5. 3 rows will be selected. And 1:5. So starting from 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 columns of these 3 rows will be selected. Have a look. So this is how the data has been subsetted. Correct? 3, 4, 5. And instead of 6, if I write here 60. Enter. So starting from 3, 4, 5 till 59. Is it right? These many rows have been selected. So this is a subset of data which contains 2500 rows. I hope you're getting my point. Alright, subset of the data that contains total 2500 rows. Is that correct? Fine. Okay, many a times there are many good examples of ilog, but we are not going to end up very frequently using this because it's not good to subset the data by index numbers. It's easy to subset the data by its column. Okay, it's easy. I'm in a few of my videos which are coming up, I'm going to give you many more examples of using ilog, how to play with these indices in case if you're not very fluent or rapid at it or quick at understanding the indices, right? Especially for those of our friends. Clear? Fine. Now let's understand how to use log then. Okay, one good example of log that I've kept it written here. Okay, say what happens here is if I write this as my file show me all those rows from my file where home ownership is mortgage and monthly income is more than 7,000. So basically it returns me all the rows where this condition is true. I don't want all the rows. I just want 2 columns of these rows. Correct? So what will we do is we write here. This is log. Fine. The first argument that we will pass to LOC will be the condition, comma. The second argument which we will pass to LOC will be the list of columns which you want to show, like home dot ownership, comma, monthly dot income and so on. Okay, fine. I repeat this point for one more time. Right. My file dot log. Help me to write in here, please. Say my file dot log. The first thing, that is what we are going to write before comma here, is condition, on the basis of which you want to partition the data, and after comma what you are going to write is the number of columns. You want to just display one column, you want to display more than one column. If it is more than one column, then make sure you have enclosed them in square brackets. Okay, right. So if I run this, alright, so it displays me only the 2 columns of those rows whose names we have mentioned. It's not necessary that you have to write only those columns who are under the condition here. No, it could be any column. Say I want to include this column, ID, or maybe the loan length. Getting it? So what can we do here is monthly income. Instead of that, I'm writing here as ID. Correct? Fine. You want monthly income, ID, home ownership all together, just give a comma and keep adding these columns. I hope you're getting my point. Right? Anyways, for the day today, this much is enough for numpy and pandas. A very quick recap of what we have learned. We started with numpy. What did we do today is we started from understanding arrange. Numpy.arrange stands for array range. It creates a range of number up till the number that we have provided. Correct? Okay. We can also give the step size to the numbers produced in range. One good advantage of a range over range is it can also accept the fractional step sizes. Correct? Then there is a function called as linspace in numpy. It helps you like not to keep in track the step size. You just have to keep the total number you want between two numbers. It will automatically calculate the step size. Is it right? Fine. Then a vast variety of example based on random numbers. If you want to generate random numbers between something to something, how many random numbers, the size of an array of the random number, like one dimensional, two dimensional, and so on. Right? How to use choice function inside the random number, correct? That way. Then later on we started the usage of pandas. We first imported panda as PD. Then we learned how to create panda data frame. Is it right? We generated three list of data, three array of data using numpy. We zip them, we put them into a panda data frame, and then in the second method we use dictionary way to put it into a panda data frame. Is that correct? Fine. Then we also learn how to read a CSV file from panda or using panda, that is PD, which is a whatever is a panda alias.csv, read CSV. Is that correct? Read underscore CSV. It will accept the file which has already been imported here with path declared. Correct? Okay, some properties of panda file, like some functions which can be used with panda file, like head, tail, or maybe info, or maybe let me say columns. Is it right? Columns actually is not a function, it's a property. So it will display how many columns, the d types will display data types of the column, shape will display how many rows and how many columns does it contain, so on and so forth. Is it right? Fine. Okay. Lastly, we saw iloc and loc, that is to subset the data based on some condition. If you want to condition it on the basis of index numbers, then we use iloc. And if you want to condition it on the basis of some column names, then we better prefer to use it as loc. Alright, fine. Anyways, guys, had a good time with you all today. That's all for the day today. See you back again tomorrow with another set of knowledgeable information. Okay, till then, goodbye and stay connected. Please do like our videos, do subscribe to our channel, do spread it as a word of mouth to others also who are in need. Let's make everyone learn coding and get benefited out of it. Okay, this is Shabnam from the Code Ark. See you back again tomorrow. Okay, bye.